Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is General Hospital Edition. All right, guys, today is Monday, December the 26th, 2022. I hope you had a Merry Christmas. I have a happy holiday. Let's jump right into this, into the last episodes of this year. On a scale of 1 to 10, you know what? This was good to me. I'm going to have to give it an 8. Let's go right into it. And we see Cody. He's looking at baby Britta that was born on Christmas, at the Quartermains, and the nurse comes up and says, "Oh, is this your baby?" And for a minute he's caught off guard and he's like, "Yes." And then he's like, "No, no, no. I mean, I helped, birth the baby." She's like, "Oh, the miracle baby." So they're all like, "Oh, you did a lot of help or whatever." And so then Matt comes up and he's telling Cody about, he heard that he did, a lot of work, that he helped get the mother and the child. He helped the paramedics get through, the snow and the storm. And he was like, "Yeah, but he's throwing off the compliments." And Mac was like, "Why do you always do that? Every time someone tries to give you a compliment or say you're a good person, you always are like, no, you throw it off, or you change the subject, you do something." And he says, "Well, because I'm not a good person." And then Max says, "I wish you had grown up with a good dad. And, I wish I could have been your dad, just to let you know you matter, and you're special, and you're a nice person, and it's okay." And he's like, "I wish, I would have had you as a dad, and maybe I could have made a decision that I made." I said, "What decision? Y'all got to come on with this." But anyways, that was it. They were just bonding. So then we see Austin. Okay, so Terry goes into Brit's office. She was like, "What?" And Britt is like, "What? You hit me up and said let's meet." And Terry was like, "No, you hit me up." Then Austin comes in and was like, I set this meeting up. Let's get to work about business." And so he wants to get this machine that helps detect cancer earlier, but it's 6 figures. And Terry was like, "I don't know." And then Britt is always the one who's supposed to shut things down. But Britt is like, "Yeah, let's do it." And Austin can see that Britt is distracted. And so Terry is just like, "What? I zig, you zag. What are you talking about? Let's do it." She's like, "You're not going to give any fight." So then that makes Terry suspicious. So she's like, "What is going on with you, Britt?" But Britt won't tell her. And Austin was like, "Britt, if you don't tell her, I will." But she still won't tell Terry what's happening with her. But she's like, "Just do the machine and we'll talk about it. We'll present it to the board." And so then Terry tells Austin, "You're not going anywhere. Tell me what's going on." But of course he doesn't tell her what's going on. He just says, she's being nice. And she said, "That's what worries me. This is not Terry. I mean, this is not Brit." And he says, "But I mean, she gonna tell her whenever she wants to." And it is a little bit, because I would love to see them rally around her and just try to show her support. We already got Willow lying to everybody. Now we got Britt as well. So, anyways, then we see Brad and Maxie. Britt has asked them both to help her in her party planning, and they can't agree on anything. They're not friends, but I said Britt is trying to make y'all be friends. Y'all know Mila's in the background. It is. I mean, I'm sorry. It is what it is. So they're trying to be friends and everything. I mean, they're trying to work on this party, but they're not getting along. And so Britt comes up and sees them arguing, and so she starts talking like, "Why y'all need to get along? Y'all have to be friends." And they were like, "Why are you trying to make us be friends?" She was like, "What if I'm not here?" And they were like, "Where are you going?" And it's just the way she's talking about things like that. If they were happening, like, she would be gone, it would all be past tense. And so they're like, "Britt, what is going on?" But she won't tell them. She just tells them she wants them to get along, because she won't always be there. And then she tells Brad, oh, because they both giggle about something. She was like, "I'm gonna miss you." And they're just like, "Britt, what's going on?" But Maxie and Brad don't do not look too hard into it. They kind of just like, "We're gonna have to, you know get pull this together so we can work with Britt, because she is our close friend and we love her." And because Maxie's like, "I'm family," and Brad was like, "Well, I'm chosen family." And so then they say, "What are the waiters gonna wear?" And they were like, "Not much." So that's the start of, I guess, this is the two we're gonna see together now that Britt's gonna be gone, when they decide they want to bring Brad in, because that's all they do. They bring Brad in. He's a little comic relief with Britt, and then he's gone. All right. So then we go back to Austin and Britt, and he tries again to tell her, you have people who would love to know what's going on with you and who can support you, but she's not ready to tell, and he respects that. So then later on, she gets a knock on her door. Oh, Cody had talked to Dante, and he asked Dante, "Were you the one who told um Mac about what I did at the Quartermains?" And he was like, "Yeah." Cody just is starting to realize, I put my effort into things that I shouldn't have. Like I used Brit. I wasn't truthful when I came into town, and now he regrets that. Because he looks at Code. He looks at Dante, and he's like, "You have Sam. Y'all have kids between you. You have the life that I realized I would have liked that life." And so, anyways, he goes to speak to Brit, and we'll see about that tomorrow because that was it. He just comes in her office. Child, Heather Weather is at the hospital because she has an eval to see if she needs to go on back to prison. Whew, I'm sorry. So to see if she has to go back to prison. So then we see Dante come in, and she's like, "Oh, you looking real nice. I love an officer in uniform." But then she knows he did that because of Rory. Dang, they didn't even show Rory's funeral. I guess they said. I mean, they ain't doing nobody else's funeral, so why do Rory's? So, anyways, Portia comes in, and he tells her, "Girl, work with this woman and see if she's okay." But she tells him, she says, "I could help you with Esme Prince. You could tell Robert." And so he leaves. And so then Portia and Heather start talking, and she tells her, "Robinson, are you related to the girl that was on trial?" So then they start talking about that, and then Heather said, "I always knew she was innocent. You could tell." And that was a setup. It was a frame job. And then she says, "Does Trina ever talk about Esme?" But Portia not trying to entertain Heather. So then we see at Rory. This is after Rory's funeral, and we find out his parents didn't even come. I said, "Really, really?" So they said his parents didn't come because they're not dealing with everything, and they're gonna have a private memorial for family only. So, anyways, Marshall, Curtis, and Trina that's what she's telling them, and then Spencer, Laura, Robert, and Sam come up, and because they're all talking about how Laura comes to Trina and says, "We're gonna get justice for Rory." And then Spencer comes up and he says, "Yes, we're gonna get justice, and make sure everything, we get the person who did this, which is Esme Prince." And they said, "Who is?" And Laura said, "Who is we?" He said, "I just meant the good people of George Charles." And then Curtis said, "Stay in your lane, Spencer." Like they all realize what y'all up to. And he said, I'm a Cassadine, not a police officer. I'm not gonna do anything." So, anyways, Laura was talking to Spencer and Trina, and she was like, "I don't know what y'all two up to, but don't do anything." And then the man from the invader comes, right? And he's asking Laura some questions. And Spencer and Trina both go to the side, and they're like, we're going to do this. Like we're neither one of them is backing out there, so we're gonna find Esme and take care so she can stop being the hook killer. And so then the invader man said he wanted to take a picture, and Trina and Spencer said, "Can we be in the picture?" Because y'all know their whole thing is to lure Esme out by showing them these two together. So they both get in the picture, and Curtis and them see this, and they said it was Curtis, Sam, and Marshall, and they said, "What's going on here?" Like when did they become friends like that again? So they leave anyways, and so then Marshall tells Sam that he thinks that Trina is very vulnerable right now, and Spencer has hurt her before. And Sam, she defended her cousin. She was like, "Listen, he cares about Trina, and he risked himself, so he might have made mistakes, but he cares about her, so just give him, cut him a break." So then Curtis comes over to Spencer and Trina. He said, "What was that about?" And they were like, "What? Why y'all taking pictures, and what y'all planning? What y'all got going on?" And they were like, "We don't know what you're talking about." And well, first of all, okay, but so they were like, "We don't know what you're talking about." And then Spencer, Laura wants to talk to Spencer in private, so he goes with her or whatever, right? And he talks to her in private, and she says, "Spencer, you've hurt that young lady in the past." And he says, "I know, but it was a mistake, and I promise you I won't hurt Trina again, and I'm not gonna let anyone else hurt her again." And he's over there looking at her, right? And so then Curtis have to leave because Trina reminds Curtis, "Boundaries, sir, boundaries. Like what I am to Spencer is none of your business." It's none of your business. He like, okay. But then he said, can Marshall take you home because he wants to meet her mom? She said, tell my mom I love her. He was like, okay. And then Marshall said, well, grandfathers don't have to have boundaries. She said, you know my grandfather. He said, I'm finna be your step grandfather. Girl, that's your grandfather. When your mama gonna tell, girl? But anyways, he like, we don't have to have boundaries. And he tell her, leave that little Spencer Cassadine boy alone. And she said, it's cute and all, and I do respect you. Remember, you said there's sometimes people can lie, and still have there's a reason why they have to lie. He said, I said that, and she said yes. And my step grandfather is a wise man. He was like, don't be using my words back on me. But I love the relationship between Marshall and Trina. And so she look over her shoulders at Spencer, and he looking at her. I said the chemistry between these two, y'all, the teens have the best storylines. I've been saying it for months, but they do. And not only that, they have the best chemistry. They could teach these grown-ups how to like look at each other and interact with each other, baby. The chemistry between Spencer and Trina is off the charts. But anyway, so she looking back at him while Marsha walks her way, and Laura looking at Spencer like, please leave this girl alone. But let's move on, y'all, because then Dante had called Robert and he told him, Heather Weather saying she thinks she can help us with the hook killer. So Robert said, well, let me go on over here and talk to this girl. And so then Dante talks to Sam, right? Because she tells him, she said, because he's dressed up in his uniform for Rory, and she said, he was like, for a sad reason. And she said, no, it was to honor your friend. Here, sister. Sorry, y'all. But she said it was to honor, Rory. And he said, I wish I would have went in when I first heard the shot. Maybe I could have hurt him. She said, no, because then you could have been hurt. And she says, I'm not gonna lie, I pray a lot more, that she's with him to for his covering. I mean, girl, that's what you're supposed to do when you love somebody. Ma'am, if you don't stop that. But she praying a little bit more for him, and she just wants him safe. And let's move on. So then Robert goes in there and he says, what's the verdict? And she said, Portia says she could go back. She could go back to her cell. Ain't nothing wrong. She don't have to be in Spring Ridge any longer. And so, but she doesn't have to be there any longer. But Heather tells Robert, I could help you find Esme. So y'all should really listen to me because I could help you out. And he was like, oh, Lord. And so then Portia leaves and she runs into Mac and he says, what's the verdict on Heather? And she said, still crazy as a fox. That's what I heard. But, still just she's fine. There's nothing wrong with that woman. Go and get her out of this. Go ahead and get her out of this hospital. So then Curtis comes up and he says, she was like, is everything okay? He says, yes. But with Trina, we have a problem because it's that Spencer Cassadine, because about the friend she is making, and it's Spencer Cassadine. Y'all keep trying to push this girl away from him because at this point, Trina is in college. She only home for the holidays. I believe she still is. She staying in the dorms. I don't know if she's staying in the dorms now because of the hook killer. But they really can't. You can't keep her away from him because she's of a certain age now. You know what I mean? Yes, she's still a teen. Like I think like she's 19 or whatever. But you're not. The more you try to keep this girl away from Spencer, the more they're gonna get together. Like she knows Spencer. She knows what he's done for her, and she knows why he did it for her. And so y'all not gonna keep them apart. Y'all might as well hang it up. But anyways, so Robert and Mac are still talking to Heather because Mac comes in and she said, oh, it's just something about a man in uniform. I said, Heather, pull it together, focus. And she said, okay. And so then she's telling them, I could help you with Esme. She said, use me as bait to get to Ryan because, he'll trust me and I'll get all the information out of him. And then I'm going to turn around and give it all to y'all. Now, they don't know if they should trust her or not, but they're thinking about it. And so they're like, well, we don't have anything in writing. So because they go ahead and leave her. They said, we don't have anything in writing. So what could she do? I said, a lot. Because she makes a hint because they said Ryan can't even walk and he all he can do is blink. And she said, yeah, you think that? And they were like, what? And they let her slide on by saying that. But anyways, they end up leaving her and the security guard comes in, right? and he sees something on the phone about the invader and the case. And she was like, "Oh, can you tell me?" He says, "No." And I said, "You don't have to be like that, sir." But anyways, a nurse comes in while he's checking the handcuffs, and he leaves his phone. And then Heather sees the picture of Spencer, Laura, and Roy. I said, "Dang, they got that out fast in the invader." And I said, "Oh." Heather y'all might be right, because y'all said y'all think Esme was the hook. Then she got pregnant and couldn't do it anymore, and got locked up. And so Heather, to throw the suspicion off her, hooked Rory. Y'all might be right. I don't know what's going on, but I tell you, I'm invested in this. I like that. I like these people that they're showing, because I'm into the teen storyline, especially that Spencer and Trina. Oh, I'm all here for that one. I love me some Heather Weber. And so I want to see how this is all gonna play out. But anyways, y'all, that was General Hospital today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for another episode. Don't forget, I will be going live for the last live of the year this Friday, December the 30th. 7 on the East Coast, 6 on Central, and 4 on the West Coast. I'll let you know if I change times, because I might go live a little bit earlier, but I'll let you know. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Ma'am.